Hi everyone. So for this YouTube video, I'm going to be talking about marriage. And as I am getting married in about a week, I'm very excited. Um, and I just wanted to talk about, um, the importance of marriage and what marriage is, and how I've I've heard stories and I know people that are married in their own eyes because they have just lived with their boyfriend and girlfriend, and they identify that as we're almost basically married, like it's okay to live that way. And I even know Christians that do the same thing, that they live together. They may be engaged and then they live together, and of course when that happens, you're going to be um, having sex most likely, or if anything, you have a lot more temptation. So it's not good. So I wanted to first talk about even some. I'll talk about the Bible, but first I'm just going to talk about some just facts about marriage and um, like divorce rates of those who live together before they get married, and then those who wait until marriage, and that's God's plan of what He wants. So first is the I also got this all this information online, and first is divorce is a lot higher for couples who live before they get married, and those who wait, it's a lot lower. Relationship satisfaction, uh, people who live before they get married, they're lower, not as satisfied. Commitment is a lot less. If they are engaged, it's a little bit more, but it's a lot more clearer and a lot more commitment if they are waiting and then get married and live together. Stability with children. I know people that even have children and they're not even married. Like that's just ridiculous to me. I think right as when you get married, like if you're living together before you get married and you have a kid, you need to get married right away. Um, so it's a lot less stable for the children when their parents are just dating right now. Um, and even breakup rates are a lot higher when those who live together before they're married. So that's just some information that I just got on online. But I want to talk about like what is the um, description of marriage and what is marriage? How do we know when someone is married or not? And I first wanted to um, talk about. So the first one is covenant. So a marriage is a covenant. So a covenant is made through sex because it's basically like a blood covenant. I forgot the name of it, um, but when you have sex, it is a covenant with you and God, and that's in Malachi 2:4. Talks about how um, and how when you're getting married and it's a covenant before God, you're witnessing your marriage. God is witnessing your marriage together when it is holy and before Him. So it talks about Malachi 2:14 says, "Yet you say, wherefore? Because the Lord has been witnessed between you and the wife of your youth, against whom there has been dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant." So it's talking about how God has witnessed you and your wife, and that is a covenant that is made between you and God with your wife. So that's the first thing. Second thing is it has to be in public. So a lot of you may know the story of when Christ turns water into wine, is one of his first miracles, and it shows how he was invited to a wedding and all of his disciples. So it was very public. It was for like 3 days or something, and they would invite so many people. So it wasn't just a marriage that you just had by yourself, but it had to be public. You had to show people saying, I commit my marriage to this person. I want to live with this person. And when you live together before you get married, that's usually a decision that you just do just between you and your girlfriend or boyfriend. That's not right. It needs to be between like a whole bunch of people that you're going to get married, and then after that you become one flesh and you live together. So that's in um, first John 2, 1-2. It talks about that and how all the disciples were there. So marriage has to be in public. It can't just be private. The third one is leaving and cleaving. This verse is used a lot. It's Genesis 2:24. It talks about how a man, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So it's talking about how you need to clearly be married and say, I'm going to leave my family and grow a family now with my now wife, and you're going to leave and cleave. So you're joining together, and it's stated that you're going to do that. It's not just saying, oh yeah, we bought a house. Oh, I guess that's showing that we're leaving and cleaving. Like, no, it has to be like clearly stated, and that's what marriage is. Next is marriage is not just sex. A lot of people think, oh, if you have sex with the one girl, that means she is now your wife. Marriage is through sex. Not exactly, because it said in Exodus 22, have it here. Exodus 22:16 says, if a man entices a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, then he shall surely be told to be that she should be his wife. So it talks about how this man had sex with a maid or a woman, and it doesn't mean, oh, now they're married. It's like, no, now you have to say, I'm going to be publicly, we need to say that we're married. And then now, so that means there's no more fornication. That's another thing I want to talk about. So again, I'll repeat that marriage is not just having sex with a girl. You need to show publicly, it's a covenant, and it needs to be publicly shown between you and God, and you need to leave and cleave. And once you have been blessed by God, and yes, you do have sex, then you have been married. And it has to go in that way. You can't just live with your girlfriend or boyfriend beforehand. And again, there's proof in today's like research about how people have worse marriages if they live together. So just by that, you need to follow that. And this is what the Bible, God already knew all these information that's going to happen. So God has said this in His Word that we need to do it properly, and how you need to date for marriage. And once you're married, then you can live together, and you have such a much better life, and there's more commitment. And honestly, you're not even really being a strong man if you're deciding to live with your girlfriend and then you live with them for 10 years or 8 years or whatever, and you're not marrying them. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, you need to like propose and get married as soon as possible. And again, like with fornication, if you are fornicating, if you're having sex with your girlfriend, Paul talks about saying, if you can't stop fornicating, the best thing to do right now is to just get married. And that's in 1 Corinthians 7, 1-2. It is good for a man not to touch a woman. So at the beginning, it's not good for a man to not touch a woman, to not be sexual. But it says, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So it's not just saying, oh, a man should touch a woman, and once you touch a woman, then or have sex with a woman, then it's your wife or husband. Like, no, you need to show that like you were going to get married, so that you can have that commitment with just one woman between, and have a covenant with you and God, and then you won't be fornicating. That is, if you only have sex with your wife. So I just want to encourage you guys. You guys need to, if you're living with your girlfriend or boyfriend right now, you need to first either move out. You can still date, but move out, stop fornicating, and get a ring as soon as possible, and propose and get married as soon as possible. But yeah, this is the way God has made marriage. Marriage is a partnership and is so strong when it's together and you're working together and you're also doing it in front of people and people want to encourage you through it. Um, and marriage is just a wonderful thing. I'm just so excited to get married to my fiance. And right now, we're not living together. This is my room in my parents' house. But then that day when we get married, we have a place to live in, and we believe God's going to bless us because we are honoring God and um, not fornicating and not living together before for a marriage. We want to do this right because we see it in the Bible and we just want to honor God. So I just encourage you guys, just if you're fornicating with your girlfriend, you need to get married as soon as possible, and everything will work out. And stay committed to that person. Um, and again, make sure that you are talking to God, calling out to God, making sure that this woman, in praying and fasting, make sure that this woman is your wife, the wife that God has set before you. And I believe my fiance is the woman that God has set before me that I'm going to marry, and we're so excited. So I pray that for everyone there. And anyways, have a great day.